Hello guys, welcome to the 8th episode of Much Ado About Dota. This is actually our European special. Our normal time is about 5 hours after this, but this is for you Euros. For those of you who are unaware of our format, we'll have obviously our usual guest of hosts, and today our guest is Winter, but anyways, going around the table, Josh, Painted Gold, one of our hosts. Josh, instead of introducing you, I would like to ask you if you have any New Year's resolutions or regrets or things you want to change for the next year.
New Year's resolutions, regrets, and things I want to change for the next year.
Yep.
Oh, that's a private question. No, I mean,
Well, in regards to Dota. We'll keep it
in
like
regards to Dota, I don't think I do. In regards to Dota, I want to cook a lot more food for myself. And cook more delicious food for myself. That's one of my New Year's resolutions.
Okay, and obviously going around the table we have AUI 2000 from Dignitas, carry player for them. Same question goes to you, Kurt.
I want to maintain a really, really good sleep schedule. That's my New Year's resolution, I think.
That is a good one. That's good.
I want to wake up at like 8 or 9 every single day and be fully slept and energized. It's not gonna happen.
That's gonna end so quickly. That's gonna be like
I've been doing that lately.
No, because we need to wake up to practice against Euros anyway. So hopefully Dota will actually help me with this one.
Okay, Sam, our resident Meepo player, is terrible at it, but I saw you lose with it.
You're
the
so
other
bad,
day.
dude.
any New
Shadow
Year's
Demons.
resolutions or changes that you're gonna make for this upcoming year in regards to Dota?
Play less Tidehunter. Invent more shit.
Make me in the metagame.
Yeah.
Introduce it.
First pick.
That's it. That's it.
And our guest is obviously, for those of you who don't know, he's really famous right now for his co-casting, but also is playing captaining, former captain of, he was the captain when Orange was at the International. Winter, nice to meet you. Hello.
Hi.
Dude, his webcam wasn't moving.
Oh, was it? Is it okay now?
Yeah, he was a statue. It wasn't the webcam, it was just him. He was a statue.
Yeah, I wasn't moving.
Anyways, Winter, do you have any resolutions or anything for in regards to Dota for the upcoming year?
I want to take some vocal lessons to learn how to control the tone of my voice, so that probably in future I can use it during casting.
Oh, that's a very, very nice goal. Anyways, I was looking through your Twitter actually, and it led me into a topic. I saw that at some point in your life you were a chess player for a national chess player.
Yeah, I used to play for my country.
Oh, that's actually really neat. Do you feel like there are any traits that you gained from playing chess that kind of carry over into Dota?
Yeah, it's similar when you are drafting. You have to try to think what the opponent is trying to do and try to counter from there. You have to be like 1 or 2 steps ahead of him.
Okay, fair enough. And Kurt, I actually wanted to ask you this as well. Do you feel like there's certain traits that are just applicable to all Dota players? And if so, what do you feel they are?
From chess or like from things?
Well, just in general, like what do you feel is important that makes up like a good competitive Dota player?
Well, like there are things like teamwork, which come from all sorts of things in Dota, and hopefully that's also translates from Dota into real life after Dota. Yes, and then other games, of course, like StarCraft, stuff like that. I think Dota incorporates a lot of aspects of stuff outside of Dota, and I really like that about the game.
Alright, Josh, do you feel like, what traits do you feel are most important to like a Dota player and like things that you can apply?
Well, you have to be able to work alongside with people and always kind of like look at yourself and try to improve. Yeah, just pretty much always striving to improve, and I would suggest that like you all don't take things too personally, and just look at things you did wrong each game and then try to fix them.
Alright, same question goes to you, Sam. What life skills and stuff do you think apply to Dota?
your like how you talk to other people, and it's like how much it's just like responsibility and shit, like just stuff like that. It's just how you act. I don't know. It's a lot of things. It's like Dota is just it's like a job kind of. It's just like you have these kind of coworkers and stuff. At least the team side, the team based side is part of it. So I don't know. Just like you have to be. Dota's really a social game too. So it's not just like StarCraft where you just play individually.
Okay, speaking of the social aspect of Dota, Kurt, something recently happened with your team where you guys actually or released, I guess is the term. You released snaking, right? How exactly did that decision go into play, and do you have any final comments on the matter that weren't said in the original Reddit thread?
Well, I would just like to highlight one thing that a lot of people are saying. They're like,
Okay.
oh, Snake was kicked for his attitude or his play or something like that. Because I would like to just emphasize the fact that it was none of those. We played together as a team for 10 months. You'd think if it was attitude or something like that, we would have kicked him after like 1 month or 2 months. Or something more reasonable than dedicating a year of our lives to playing together. Like, this had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that he could not maintain a proper practice schedule with us. And we really want to do well in this upcoming year, and practice is a really important part of that. So that's actually the only reason why he was removed from the team.
Okay, fair enough. In general, I think that a lot of Dota teams kind of get a bad rap when they lose a player. They think that it's kind of unprofessional and it's a shuffle. What do you say to those people when you have to release a player for these reasons?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I was too busy looking at paint, Dad.
Well, that's my stepdad. Tell my dad.
Um,
That's my stepdad.
what I was going to say is, you know when a
He's
player
asking
gets
me.
kicked or
Right there.
anything, like any sort of team moves or switch happens, do you feel it's fair for people to like kind of blame like the North American scene for being volatile and all that and being immature?
Well, especially for our team, considering we've been together for 10 months, which is like, okay, what Western Dota team has been together for 10 months? Navi. And before snaking, Dignitas. That's all. I think that's actually all. So definitely not for our team, right? And I don't think, like, when you have a team of 5 players who have to play together professionally, sometimes it's hard to keep a full team 100% of the time, and there will be, like, conflicts and stuff. So I do think it's a bit unfair for people who expect teams to just stay together for years, but it's definitely not something that you wouldn't aim for.
Okay. Winter, I actually meant to ask you, do you feel that the Asian scene in general have an advantage in terms of keeping together? Because I know that the Asian scene seems, at least from my perspective, a little less volatile than the American one does. Like, why do you feel that?
Well, I think there are a lot of teams changing members along the time as well, but I think that one of the major advantages that the Asian scene has over the US scene or even NA scene is that we are able to scrim with the Chinese teams, and it really helps a lot. And every of the better Southeast Asian teams, they know that if you want to go far in the competitive scene, you have to stick together as a team. Swapping around members doesn't really help the cause at all.
Okay, fair enough. Sam, as somebody who's switched around a bit in the scene, like, what do you feel?
Are you insinuating something?
No, I'm not insinuating anything. I've insinuated nothing, but how do you feel personally about players kind of jumping around?
Well, I don't think it's NA specific. I think it's all like actually like the NA scene's been probably the most stable recently. Not like, but like there's actual like the teams are together. There's maybe like one person leaving, one person joining and stuff. But I think it's always gonna happen. It's just that some people have different commitments, and then when you get to know someone for a long time, then you have to like, you have to leave and stuff, and I don't know.
You have to
all
leave
problems
because you know
arise.
them for a long time.
No, it's hard to say. There's like social problems and stuff. Like people are gonna have like be at odds with each other. So it's like you have to expect it.
So,
It's
like, over time, a big conflict might come up that will cause problems.
yeah. Over time, a big conflict might come up that might cause problems.
Were there any big
But
conflicts?
but it's important, I think, to solve the problems every time. You can't really avoid the problems. You just have to deal with it.
Oh, how about if it? I mean, it's just like, okay, look at AOI's case. Snake King has to leave or gets kicked. I don't know, because he can't play.
Well, mine wasn't any
He,
sort of internal issue or like team problem, attitude problem when we didn't get along with that. It was purely because we couldn't meet the schedule.
We
okay,
can't really
okay.
hear you, by the way.
Yeah, your mic is only cut out.
Frick. Hell. Is it better now?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
were you saying?
Like I have background static for some reason. Like just today, I don't know why. When I turned it up high.
Okay. Anyways, repeat, Kurt, what you're saying.
Shit, I don't even know what I said. Something like Snake, like we didn't kick him because we had internal problems or anything like that. It's just scheduling problems. Like it's not like a in-team fight or anything like that.
Wait, so is the question is internal problems? Like, but it's hard to fix all the internal problems. And if you don't enjoy playing with the people that you're playing with, what's the point? Like, Dota, at least we've learned, should be a game that you play with friends and stuff. Like, you have to play, and you have to like, when you go to places, you have to enjoy being in their company and stuff like that. So you can't just expect that. I mean, you can try and fix it, but it doesn't work all the time. So it's just.
I think what Curtis is saying that it's more of a commitment issue for him, for their team, why they remove sneaking.
Yeah.
Because he can't commit to the schedule, and if there's no other way, then he has no choice because he's pulling the team down. He's reducing the amount of time that they could practice together.
Yeah, like
Well,
we actually did everything we could to keep him on. I'm not even kidding. Like people might think like from streaming or something that we didn't get along and stuff, but we tried everything to keep him on.
Yeah. Well, he's in like high school, so it's hard, especially if in high school. Like, I don't think any high school can spend time playing competitive Dota.
Yeah, it's not just high school. He's like in IB and stuff, so like it's a higher course load for him, I guess. I don't know. Because university, your schedule's so flexible. Like, we could all fix our schedules to only go to school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's what we're doing next year. And then we'll have 5 practice days a week. With snaking, we might only get like 1 hour practice on certain days, and then weekends, which will be tournaments. And tournaments are not practice. Like, you can't just only play tournaments as practice.
Yeah, definitely.
I know Snake King and Han had a lot of like issues like that to deal with. He was in like the school band and stuff, and we kind of made jokes about it with him. And there's like the infamous YouTube thing where it's like Snake King Africa. Have you seen it, Kurt?
Yeah, that's a good video. You guys should watch it. Swindle melons, right? That's so
yeah,
funny.
Window Melons.
That was actually so
It's
funny.
so funny. But yeah, he's had this problem before, and yeah, there's not much you can do about it. And when you have 4 people trying to go as serious as like Kurt is saying that they are, then you have to make a change, because like one person can hold back the team's practice so much and just hold back the team's improvement, and that's a big problem with like NA and stuff.
Sam, you said you'd rather like play with friends. Would you rather really play with people that you enjoy playing with, or would you rather try to get like the best possible team that you could?
It should always be, I think, with people you enjoy playing with, or else it's just not fun playing the games. That's what I think, at least. I mean, like,
So-
even I remember, like, in all the Dota lands and stuff, that like you have all the friends that just stick together, and like all the Chinese teams, like LGD didn't go anywhere without them just as 5, and all like the Chinese teams, IG, like they just all did everything together. So they're obviously, I think, one thing, I think it was Ties or something. I don't know. He was talking to Chuan about something, and then Chuan was like, "To be a good Dota team, you have to be friends with everyone and stuff." So I remember that, and I think it's true. You have to have like a really good relationship with everyone, and just you be able to talk with everything. And that's one of the things about the whole like living together as a team, which why that arguably is better, is because you get to be closer with each other and become better friends. But that's a whole different argument. So.
Winter, do you take the opposite end? Like, would you play with somebody that you knew was really good, but you didn't get along with, just to kind of go as far as you could professionally?
I already tried everything actually. I tried to play with friends, and I tried to play with better players, but I didn't know them. And as conclusion, well, I think, in my opinion, I prefer to play with a team which can work together, even though we don't have very great individual skills. As long as we can work together and the team chemistry is there and there's not much arguments, everyone can go along. And that's the most important thing, which I feel. You can have the best skilled players in the team, but you still can't win the tournaments because you don't get along.
Hmm.
Josh, do you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I agree. I was just wondering, like,
Yeah, but I hope that because my aim is to like if you can have the best players and make everyone good fans, well that's the that's the one will be the best.
and Dota really tests friendships as well. Like, it's such a like stressful game. Well, it's not stressful. It's just that there's so many factors in this game, and like people don't like to accept blame and stuff, and there's just so many random factors that go along with it that can like really test your friendship and push it. So I was just wondering, Winter, like, are you playing for any teams right now?
My plans are unclear about this year,
Oh, I see.
but
Okay.
I'm still considered as an orange player right now.
Oh, okay. Cool stuff. I saw you ringing for AL, so I was just wondering.
Huh? AL? Oh, you mean N9?
Yeah, N9. Same. Yeah, them.
Yeah, I was good friends with those Australian guys. We knew each other for quite some time already.
Alright, so Starladder Season 4 finals actually just wrapped up recently. That was with Empire VP, Fnatic EU, and Navi. And we actually saw, spoiler alert, Navi take first, Empire take second, Fnatic EU actually took third, and Virtus Pro took last place, despite actually playing very well against Empire in their set. Sam, were you surprised at all by the result? I mean, Empire went into this really strong. They had been on a pretty good streak, as had VP. Were you surprised that Navi was able to come out on top? Even Fnatic EU was doing really well, winning the Thor Open.
Well, I watched that interview by Puppy on the Navi channel, and he's basically like, before that, the reason he said at least his excuse for not winning was because they weren't picking the heroes that were really strong and stuff in the version. At least that's what like the heroes that were strong like in the Western scene at the time, and they were kind of like picking old school. And then he's like, we just practiced for 2 days, and then we just picked like Wisp and whatever and Nakes and CK and then NA and like he said they just picked like these heroes and they won and it was simple. So it was kind of like overconfident, but they did win pretty handily. I think like they only had like trouble one game, and even that game they played really well. I think it was the game versus Empire. Empire like should have won that game no matter what, but they somehow lost.
The one with the Knicks.
The one with the Naga on Empire,
Yeah,
and
Empire had I think Sam like full farm.
yeah, they had
Yeah.
both like insane form, and then Navi just had like a Nakes and a Queen of Pain. So
Did you actually see the popular heroes that were like included in the play? Darkseer was in every single game banned or picked. As
Darkseer is
was
still insanely strong. Like teams are giving it to LGD in like G League, and they're so comfortable with it, and they've just been destroying teams with it. But yeah, continue on. Sorry.
sorry. And actually, the thing that was most surprising to me was that Wisp was banned or picked every single time. Did you feel like that was at all something that we would see, especially with teams like this?
Yeah, I think Wisp is incredibly strong right now. I don't actually think that Navi has enough experience running them either, so they're not really running them that well. But that hero is like once it reaches mid or late game, you can't farm alone anymore, and then the other team just out farms you just by merit of them just having a Wisp. So he's a really strong support hero.
yeah, I think he's strong in certain playstyles. I don't know. I still like all of LGD and flames that hero so badly. Like they just said, how the hell is this hero popular? They're like it's awful. I think they are kind of underrating it, but the way at least the way the G League games are going, and at least the way they play, they want a hero that can push early, and they don't want to kind of like farm and push with some tiny and nakes or something. So maybe. I still think like the orbs do so much damage. It's like hard, and they say like, you can just aggressive tri-lane versus it, but those orbs, and even in the safe lane, if you had like get a stun off, it's so much damage. So I think they are getting underrated, but maybe they have a point. So
Did you say
Just with-
LGD or LGDN?
Oh,
Actually,
LGDN,
both those
LGDN.
teams have like very strong counter Wisp playstyles. They group up as 5 like very early on, and that's like how you counter a Wisp. You don't get picked off at all. You just constantly pressure. and you don't let like Wisp hit level 6 easily.
Yeah.
So I can see why they think it's weak.
Yeah, every time in the agency, if you pick up a whips, everyone will just try in against it. They will never let you pull and get levels easily.
Hmm.
And the thing is, everyone's playing very sort of five-man Dota now, pushing as five. You don't really get to use the benefit of having a whips in your lineup. That's why no one actually picks it here.
The problem though, I think, is that I think there's like this misconception where you think that Wisp isn't a strong laner, but I think if he gets level 2, those orbs do so much. I don't know. We've like run this, and I think safe lane tri-lanes with Wisp actually can beat like decently strong aggressive tri-lanes. Maybe not like undying tri-lanes, but I think tri-lanes with like the ones that LGD does and stuff like that. I think it's not that weak of a hero.
There's
It's
actually the part
Okay,
where
so
you can't
you're
go into Wisp either, because he can just tether away, so that's pretty good.
Are you talking about Rubik, Lina, and Clockwork tri-lanes or Rubik,
like
Lina,
just like
Darkseer?
like what do they do? They love the Darkseer tri-lanes with the less track and stuff like that. Like I think okay, maybe it's hard to play a Wisp safe train tri-lane versus Darkseer aggressive tri-lane, but other tri-lanes like it's not that bad. I think if you can like think of some like what hero do you usually pick? I know CK
Sven.
Wisp is like
Sven.
I think more importantly is CK. I think CK Wisp in that lane is really strong. And that CK Wisp dual lane on Radiant mid, the way that I think Fnatic EU started running that, I think that lane is impossible to beat if you're on Radiant. Like if you play that lane on Radiant and you're playing versus a Dire hero, I think the only hero that can do well versus that is a Darkseer mid. But it's like you have like you can tether and then you can pull the mid camp and but obviously there's that other thing where if you do that they're gonna aggressive tri-lane you and then you have a dual lane mid, so that's obviously the counter. But I think the hero is underrated in terms of his laning. I think he's strong throughout the game. But we have to wait and see. Cause
Yeah, we see Empire like running Coddle with like CK and Wisp, and like you can't beat that tri lane. Like
Yeah.
they always win that tri lane.
like I just want to see like a team that runs Wisp really well, like obviously Empire, or even I think Navi is still a good strong. Even Dignitas, I know Dignitas loves Wisp. I want them to play that kind of safe tri lane. And even if the Wisp tri lane gets crushed, I remember the Navi versus Dignitas game. I think it was like got completely crushed on the safe lane,
Yeah.
and then you just have a Wisp and a Tiny, and it doesn't matter. Like you're gonna scale a late game, but
Yeah, like
it's
we just
situational.
don't die, and then their support just so under-leveled from aggressive tri-laning, and then the Wisp just makes it so that they can never get levels. Because if they ever show up on the map with a under-leveled support, while like one or two of their other heroes are in vision, they're just dead instantly. And it doesn't matter if we were behind from the aggressive tri-lane, we just caught back up with having higher EXP and like better map control.
Yeah. So I want to wait and see at least till like if an Asian team plays, or obviously it's hard, but if there's like a Wisp, I just want to see how it does. I don't know. I think it is still an underrated hero, and then I think it's going to remain really strong in the Western scene. Well, it won't be as popular in the Eastern, so we have to wait and see till a LAN comes where both teams play each other.
So has Bulba changed your mind at all about the hero whiz or winner? Or do you just feel like it has no place in the charismatic
We
game?
do pick it like in certain situations where if we understand that the team like just use an example, Zenith, they like to split push really hard with all their heroes, and we would then pick waves to try and catch out their lone heroes. That would be the only situation where we would really pick waves.
Okay. Sorry. Anyways,
We rarely use the heroes, so can't really talk much about that hero.
just no experimentation at all with them?
It just didn't work out well all the time. Not sure.
I just want to say that Wisp isn't really a support hero that you can just like run once or twice in a like trial mode and stuff. Like you have to like dedicate like a long time to playing that hero, I think, if you want to try to use him. Anyways.
Yeah, I think it's the same for any heroes. For Orange, I think we did try, but it didn't really suit our style because we like to own the lanes really hard, do aggressive tri lanes, and Whips isn't something that we would really prefer to pick.
Yeah, he's definitely not a hero for every team though, for sure.
Yeah, it's not easy to play it well though, but Empire is one of the examples. Funny, he plays a very good Whips.
Shout out to Blitz's mom, apparently.
That really kind of threw me off for a second, but sorry about that. Speaking of the Asian Dota scene, though, G League actually just resumed obviously LD was casting it. Winner, you were actually casting it as well. By the way, are you thinking at all of getting more into casting, or was that just kind of a one-time deal?
Maybe, maybe not, but I need to take lessons on how to control my voice, vocal lessons, because my voice is only one tone, and to be a very good caster, or even a good co-caster, you need to be able to control your tone of voice into three levels, the lower, the medium, and the high level. And I'm really bad at that, so I need to practice a lot if I were to go full-time in it.
I think in general, though, people received you very well, so I don't think you have to worry about anything. But Group A finished up with LGD Int topping it 2-1. They went 2-1 in their matches, 5-4 overall. LGD China went second, and For Love actually surprisingly took out DK, right? They went
Yeah,
1 and 2
Follow
and
beat DK 2-0. DK played really badly in that 2 series.
yeah. For Love actually won SMM 1 year, right? Am I thinking of a
No,
different team?
What?
no, no,
No,
no,
it's
no.
for. I thought for something.
No, for the
What?
team that won
That's
SMM was a Pinoy team, Pinoy team,
no.
Pacific Emax.
He's thinking about For the Dream long time
That's what it
ago.
was.
Oh, that was FTD.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
follow Asian Dota, so
was way long
Same
time
on
ago.
Blitz.
It was
shame
the
on
year
me.
where Demon he played with Poker Idols. Yeah,
The one
Yeah.
with Johnny Utah and all that, right?
yeah. That year, that was the year where FTD won.
Okay, fair enough. But are you surprised at all, by the way, at LGD Int topping the group? They're obviously, not an Asian team. They did move to China, but is it kind of like a surprising thing for you to see foreigners do so well?
Actually, no, because we had a lot of insider info. We played with them a lot, even when from they just started to move to China and till the weeks before G League. So we know that they are improving a lot, and it wasn't really quite surprising for us that they topped their group, because all the Chinese teams they find it really hard to deal with them push with their style. But I'm sure they will come up with something to deal with them pretty soon. We'll have to see.
You sound pretty confident about that.
Because Chinese teams they always work really hard into finding, even if they get beat up by something really badly, and they will try to find whatever best solution to deal with it. And they are all doing it every day, so I'm pretty sure it's just about time before they find out something that's able to deal with LGD in better.
Okay, and LGD China actually went second in that group, which was not too unexpected, right? If anybody was going to finish, I assumed that they would go 1 and 2 either way.
Oh.
But the big surprise was actually DK going last.
Yeah. Well, looking at the group, you're assuming that like everyone. I know I was assuming. Well, I wasn't assuming. I knew that LGD and I thought LGD and DK were gonna come 1 and 2, and then
Which
LGD
LGD?
in 3.
Oh,
LGD China, and then LGD in 3. And Brax told me like that's what they were expecting to do as well, but they pulled off the win over LGD China and put them into first place for Group A. And DK didn't even make it. And like G League is such a big tournament, and that venue just looks amazing to play in. So they're definitely going to be really upset about that.
Yeah, I was really surprised as well that DK got knocked out because I was expecting For Love to come in last in that group. We trained with all the teams before, and in our opinion, for DK should be able to progress, but we really was surprised that For Love they progressed over DK.
hmm So
think,
yeah, pretty surprising.
I think like okay, the way is like right now they have that same play style every game, so like you said they're gonna be predictable. But I think obviously if you counter that, it's like it's hard to counter specifically that style. Like you can maybe pick different ways, and Brax is telling me it's like harder for them to win as much. Like originally when they came to China and they started playing with that kind of style, they all the Chinese teams were having a lot of difficulty versus. But obviously, I mean, both sides are going to adapt. I think LGD is like the most what is it like? They they have like the most innovation right now in the picks and bans. So they rely a lot on winning their like safe lane and stuff. So I think teams are gonna have to like just take advantage. And you saw the games that they lost were when PyCat lost the safe lane pretty hard, or any other hero they put lost in the safe lane one pretty hard. So I think maybe teams are gonna just like stop just putting some random bounty hunter solo versus solo bear and something and put something else stronger. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean G1 League. Looking back at G1 League, DK was looking really strong then, and I was surprised that they lost big time.
Like that game, I think Forla versus LGD Int. That second game where the bounty hunter, like it was so obvious that LGD Int was gonna try lane aggressively, but he still like bought obs, and they didn't like he bought obs even though he knew he was versus solo Luna, or like I don't know, or they didn't expect that. I was just confused on that. Like obviously the Luna can pull, but if you're gonna sacrifice like a regen or like one of your supports that you know is gonna be safe laning, like why would you do that? I was just getting confused there. So I thought Forlove didn't adapt at all to LGT, even after they won that AM game pretty well. So
There was actually. Oh, sorry. Go on, Winner.
Yeah, actually they did. I don't think they won that game really well. The AM game. The AM made many bad decisions in the game. It could have been a lot better because he made bad item choices. He went for BKB, which didn't help him a lot. As I think it was that game. Wait, let me recall. I just remember that game being he was always pushing the wrong lanes, and he could have dealt a lot of split pushing damage to them, but he was always making the wrong choices and joining fights, and I don't think he played that game really well.
wait, is that the same game? Is that the one versus LGDN, right? Where God was playing the Night Stalker?
Yeah, for love against LGD in the anti-match game.
No, I think. Wait, that was the game where the Kodo like came out with a sheep stake, right? And that like single-handedly won them the game, I think.
I
it's like
casted
a
too many
blur.
games.
It's a
I'm too
blur for me
blurry.
too.
I just remember that game. The anti-match was farming the ancients when the fight was going on. No,
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah, I think I got the wrong game. It wasn't that
Yeah, I
game.
think you're getting the wrong because the game I remember, that AM like single-handedly won them the game with his foot pushing. So I don't know. It's so many games.
It's too many games with AM already. I'm confused already. Yeah, I think one of the. I think it was the game where against LGDCN. It was not the game against LGD. I'm confused about it.
Yeah.
Were you guys surprised, by the way, about the resurgence of Anti-Mage as a hero? Like, I think he was picked very frequently by all sides, right? Like, I know, Winner, you casted him quite a bit, right?
We were expecting a lot of anti-match games because anti-match will always be one of those heroes where if you have a good carry and a good team to play it, he could always win you a lot of the games. Because anti-match is not only a great carry in the late game, his overall ability is very flexible. He could do split pushing, he could join the fights, he could do basically almost everything.
Yeah.
And actually, we saw Phantom Lancer being picked as a counter to him, right? Pretty frequently.
I don't really think Phantom Lancer can counter the anti-mage if you play it well. You just need to be smart and split push all the time. Because one of the main reason is Phantom Lancer, it's hard for him to catch up with the battle-free anti-mage farm unless he goes for the Radiance. But if he goes for the Radiance, he's really vulnerable and there's no mana burn to deal with the anti-mage. And anti-mage just grows so strong overall, so much faster than Phantom Lancer. If the team execution is good, you could always end the game before the Phantom Lancer can show his true potential.
Yeah, I agree with that. The thing is, obviously like the game today wasn't like a good indicator, really. It's because of like the weird stuff that was happening. But like, I feel that if it gets in that situation where you have turtle heroes like a Tinker or a Kodo, and then you have a PL, it's hard to win if you don't win the game by X amount of time. Because you have like the March and then you have the Kodo, and then if you have an AM and they have a PO, it gets to that late game phase where AM has to make the decision of selling his Battle Fury, and PO is always gonna have an item advantage on him, and AM can't sell the Battle Fury versus the PO. So it's like PO has like a Daedalus, Butterfly, whatever, Diffusal, and then AM has he has to have like one of those items which obviously helps him farm and cleaves the PO. So it gets to that stage, which I think was hard for both LGD China when Salar was playing it and today. Like it was hard for both the AMs to make the decision. I think Salar sold his heart for an item, and then
No,
today
he
he's like.
sold his. I think he sold his offering or something. Wasn't
No,
a
no, I'm
hard
talking
item.
about the Siler's game when Siler was maxed. Remember, versus DK, the AM versus PO, the other game, that really epic game.
Uh huh.
Yeah, he sold the heart for the BKB in
Okay.
that game. I remember, or he sold the heart for the Daedalus in that. I mean, the Abyssal Blade in that game. But today, he was like selling his Lads and Midas and everything. So
This guy is way richer than the anti-mage the other day.
yeah, so it's pretty funny.
He
But I
was
think
like
that's why.
experimenting with all the items. What could do well for him?
Yeah, but I think but PO is like I think PO is underrated though. Like that hero is really annoying. If you have the turtle lineup with Kodo or Tinker or whatever, it's like it's so I think when he gets to that phase late game, you can't stop him. I don't think any hero can really stop him single-handedly, except what is there?
Tiny.
It's hard to really think.
Tiny.
Tiny.
I think unless you can aim him, like with the Faceless Wall, you just go in and chrono and kill him first. That's
Yeah.
basically
It's
the
hard
only
though.
way.
Tiny L carries PO really hard though. But I want to just say that I think PO actually farms faster than anti-mage if you're behind. If they have map control, I think PO farms a lot safer and faster than AM. Because like
No, it
if you're
depends on
behind
the
map
item
control,
build. It depends on the item build. If you're going
like with
Radiance,
Diffusal,
that's why
like Tranquil, Portman Shield, Diffusal. I don't know. I just found that my CS with PO is always higher than with AM.
I don't know. Like
Yeah, I
today he
remember
had
watching
what?
your PL game versus Liquid. That was some pretty fast farm you had. Well behind Kurt. Very nice.
Yeah, because they had map control, and then AM can't go blink around their jungle, else he's gonna get ganked. But PO, my illusions are just there. They're running around either trying to push or gank me, but we had a Tinker Kodo, so they couldn't push. And they couldn't gank because it's just illusions farming.
So if you have those two heroes in PO, it's so annoying. Kodo, PO, Tinker. Oh my god. The most frustrating like 3 heroes to play versus.
What was that,
best.
Kurt?
Yeah, it's one of the best
That,
totaling
that was
lineup.
that was just a sign for our 2-0 victory over Team Liquid that Bulba wanted to bet on. Just
Yeah,
saying.
he wanted to
He was
bet
like, hey
on?
guys, let's make bets. I'm so confident. We're gonna stomp them. And then they get
Like-
2-0'd.
Yeah, he called
Dude,
you
it was a
out
joke,
mad.
bro.
He's like, yo, come on, man. Like,
Grats, bro. You
Best.
shot marches
Bulba
and
was so mad.
PL.
He's gonna try to say it doesn't matter, but he was so mad. He's like
I was
crying.
not mad, dude. Like, congrats,
Crying
bro.
on
Like,
the inside.
I'm really proud of you, dude. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of Snake King.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bulba's been like practicing lately. Well, he was practicing before that match, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm so ready to get in this match, man. Like, let's take some bets." And then
Wait,
I
was
bet-
that
He
the game?
He
says.
ran into a neutral creep and got stomped and died on the offlane.
Dude, that was our Rubik Undying dual lane offlane versus the tri
Ran into the neutral creep and just died. I'm sorry. It's so easy.
Whatever, man.
Is this how it's always going to be when you guys play against each other?
Yes.
Yes, it's
also,
entertaining
Kurt-
though. So
Kurt, very nice stream viewer numbers. He had like 4K.
Oh, like 4 times.
I think Bulba had like
Bulbas?
600.
Maybe
yeah.
5 times Bulbas actually.
Yeah,
whatevs.
like
This is life.
not only did you beat him, but
Yeah, you just
Streaming.
stomped him, crushed him,
This is life.
obliterated him in every aspect. Yes, thank you, thank you.
This is
Thank you,
life.
thank you. So, Kurt, do you actually think though that PL was it just like this one-time thing where teams are trying to like out late game carry an anti-mage, or do you feel he actually has like viability in the metagame?
I don't know. I actually feel that Anti-Mage isn't as strong late game as everyone makes him out to be, because his sort of steroid skill is his lower BAT and his mobility. Those are his steroid skills. But in a like sort of 1v1 fight with full items, Anti-Mage doesn't do that well, I feel. Like, he doesn't do more damage than a lot of other carries. I mean, he farms faster, so he reaches those 6 items quicker, and that's why he can carry. So I think like PL, Tiny can both easily outcarry him.
just go Quantic style, Tiny.
With the data list and everything on Korok?
Yeah, with the data list, double damage BKB. Back when that was allowed. Double damage stacking with BKB.
Back when that was allowed.
You remember? Ask Ike's Mike if he remembers that.
He does.
Why? By the way, Kurt, you guys actually really like picking Tiny, right? As a carry
Tiny
in
is
general?
good. I think he's good. But like for the Asian scene, he's sort of similar to Wisp in that he's sort of bad in lane, so I don't know if the Asian scene would like him. What do you think, Winter?
I have bad memories of Tiny at TI2.
Oh
I
yeah.
can only imagine. Oh god.
No, it always reminds me when Xting he was so because we were winning so much, and when it came to the point where he got cleaved and died, he was like saying, "Oh God," he was saying in a very low tone, "Guys, I just got killed by the team. I'm dead."
Like the 50% pure damage cleave in such a big AoE is really stupid though, just because of its pure damage.
He got killed by a hero that's holding a big ass tree, and got cleaved to death.
That was a really
How
exciting match to watch, though.
that was.
Orange
So
throws.
it was not fun at all.
You guys were so far ahead. Made me sad. I was cheering for you.
If it helps, I was as well. So,
Sorry, I want to see Tiny win. My bad.
so what do you post all of that, Winter? What are your thoughts on Tiny as a carry? Because I know in the Western scene he's well, he's kind of faded a little bit out of popularity, but he's still considered a viable carry. Is it something that
Yeah,
the Asian scene considers well?
yeah, but we just don't use it that much as other carries. I particularly like the build where I think it was complexity they started it, the drum phase Yasha sector build. I like that build a lot. It enables Tiny to be so much of a boss later on.
I know Bulba actually said like the Chinese actually stole that from complexity, right? Like people.
Yeah, because eHome was screaming a lot against complexity at the time. They took a lot of probably maybe just that, I don't know. The Tiny whips is from complexity.
I don't think the Wisp is, but I think the Tiny was. I think the Wisp is there. I'm not sure, but
I
I mean,
think yeah, I'm not sure. But I know the Tiny was by complexity.
I think the Wisp was mine actually.
Oh my
Uh,
god!
here it
Of
comes,
course,
guys.
yeah, Bulba invented it, but. Anyways, I meant to ask you, Winter, by the way, do you watch, obviously you watch a lot of Dota, right? Do you actually get to watch a lot of the Western scene?
You mean the
Like the
recent
European American
tournaments?
scene? Yeah. Like
Yeah,
DreamHack and stuff, do you follow all
I'm
that?
one of the very hardworking players in my team. I watch a lot of replays.
I see. And is there anything that, like, you gather from the North American slash European scene and you're like, wow, I should try that out? Like, has that ever occurred to you?
Don't lie,
Uh,
he flames
yeah,
us.
yeah, I think there was some, but I can't remember. But the recent games, I think most of them are quite similar, and I don't think I can't remember. I just remember all the Sven games in DreamHack.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh God.
That was an awful tournament.
I mean, there's not.
The one that I remember the most is the Darkseer dragging everyone in and one crit everyone dies.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was EG, right?
Yeah,
EG
EG
Navi.
against Navi. Yeah, that was so ugly.
That was ugly.
What were your thoughts on about all that, Winter?
I think no Tidehunter they've been stacking creeps for the whole game. And if you get yourself beat up against a Chinese team, I don't think you have in time to even do it so much. Probably a bit, but not as extreme as how they're doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you don't have that many stacks, it really hurts Sven being slow on his items. Because Sven, all the items you get is actually quite cheap, and if you do able to stack it on early on, it sort of brings forward all his items, and he's able to carry really hard in the game. That's one of the reasons why in the Western scenes, Sven is much more viable than the Asian scene.
I think even the Western scene now, it's like it's gotten less popular. Well, that's one thing I
Uh,
wanted to talk
because of
about.
the nerf to the ancients, I mean all the neutral creeps, you can't stack as
Yeah,
much as before.
yeah. But I think even before that nerf, it was kind of like lessening because it was right after GST. It's like what's going on right now. I think is you have all these teams watching the Asian like the GST, and then right now you have G League. So it's like I think it's imitating like whatever happens there. It's like first after the GST, as soon as that happened, Luna became so popular and stuff. And now this now
Yeah,
like now when teams like are watching LGD and stuff, they're like I think the Western scene's gonna have way more of like how they play, and people are gonna try and imitate them, and that's just how Dota's gonna work, I think. for
There
now.
was a few reasons as well. Because before that, they were not picking. No one was picking any supports which really counter Sven, such as Shadow Demon. It wasn't popular at that time, and Sven was able to deal lots of damage on everyone because there's no really specific strong heroes that can counter him a lot. People just use Beastmaster and Faceless Void, but you actually can just use the Shadow Demon and make sure you pin him down with the Demonic Purge every time. And Sven is basically getting kite all over the place.
Yeah. I love Shadow Demon. Like every game in G League, he's in it. It's like the hero's like carrying.
Yeah, Shadow Demon plus Rubik, these are the two famous supports right now, position 5 supports in the Asian
Yeah.
scene right now.
Yeah. Rubik and yeah. I mean, did you see Dai's Rubik the other day? It's like the two supports that can do the most throughout the game. It's like all the spells scale well and
And
like
I would call Rubik the most cheesable support. You can do a lot of weird stuff with him.
yeah.
What about NA?
And NA is must ban. I hate that hero. I hate that hero.
And
No,
it's a
please.
stupid hero.
It's just
No, it's even far more stronger before with the old skill. I like the old skill more. The bugs, the scarabs.
oh that was
But those were even more broken, weren't they? It was like a 20-second silence. You changed
I don't know. I don't know. This Carapace
Yeah,
is
wait. 3 seconds and 6, I think. Do you have 6? No, wait. Not 20 seconds, it's 12
It's like
seconds.
it was 8. Don't you get 8 of them, and then they're each 3 seconds?
yeah.
That was very long time ago, 8. The one before, last year,
Oh,
exactly 1 year before G League, the old G League where Orange went, it was actually 1, 2, wait, let me think, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 5, the maximum.
Oh, I see.
$5.
actually,
So you get
his spike
15 seconds
carapace is like
silence.
his spike carapace is sort of like Ravage now, so I guess that's pretty good. But the bugs were really fun. They were fun. Chum.
You can ask the Pinoys, they love the bugs a lot. They pick it every game.
Has Pinoy's moved to Dota 2 at all? Like,
Not much because of their internet. Their internet is very bad, and it doesn't allow them to play Dota 2 really well. Not many people have the internet to play Dota 2. It's really laggy for them because I've been there. I know what it feels like to play Dota 2 from Philippines. Very bad.
Well, that's one thing. Do you think have you wait? You haven't been in China when you played on the servers, right? How does it feel from China to Southeast Asia? Because some
I
games
haven't
like
tried. I
Brax
haven't
says
tried
like
because I didn't go. I haven't
because
tried.
Brax was saying like some games it's like amazing and then some games it's like awful. Like it
Yeah,
just
because
depends
the
on the day.
internet, they tend to get too crowded, and when there's a lot of internet traffic, the line is really bad. So
Yeah.
they have to train at, I know they train at certain times or certain hours of the day because there is less internet traffic and they have a better connection.
Because I remember one of the G League games itself, like the third game or so, it was like everyone was like 250 ping, and it was like affecting everyone.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, I
hope
remember.
I think that hurts it a lot. I think there needs to be a server soon in China if you can't use it. It's like
There is, but I think there's a Shanghai server, but it's just
no, but
maybe
it's
not
like
as
yeah, he said it's really bad, or at least they should
not
fix
as
it.
good as the Singapore server. But you know one thing in Pinoy Dota why they are so strong because of the you heard of the bad matches they are playing? No one actually trains with each other. Their trainings are all bad matches. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, there's
I
a
You know,
local land center,
the
and they just like randomly bet.
the common bets are like one game they bet around $300 per best of 3.
dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and they pay upfront cash.
We should have made that bet, Bulba.
If you don't pay, what happens?
Get your
I
legs
don't know.
broken.
I don't know. Probably you get beat up. I don't know.
Alley.
And when we were there, boot camping, there was one tournament where one of the teams challenges directly on the event, on the tournament, on the LAN tournament, right in front of there were so many audience there and the challenges right in front of the face of everyone. And they lost.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they had to pay upfront in front of everyone the cash to us.
dude, that's so cool. It's like the underground like racing. It's like
That
drag
game
racing.
they wagered around $500 on that game.
That's awesome. I'd love to be a
Yeah,
part of that.
that's how the teams there improve and become so strong. Because you actually have something that motivates you, the money that's coming on. In China, the players there are really good because of the discipline and it's a professional job. But in the Philippines, it's different because it's bad matches.
Hmm. That's cool stuff. I'm glad you told me about that.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about it as well when we came back from our boot camp. We were telling everyone that how they were running things there in the Philippines. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of income and all that jazz, there was actually an interesting point raised on a few sites about the viability of playing professional Dota and whether that's like a motivating factor as to why you play. So, Winner, is there is that something that weighs on your mind? Like, do you actually just play for pride, or is this something that you're hoping to turn into a long-term thing monetarily?
Yeah, if it's possible, of course I want to. But in Malaysia, esports is something that's not supported at all by the government. So it's really hard if you want to make a living. Orange is just lucky because last year we won lots of tournament and we were able to sustain our lives with just the prize money. There's not really much in Malaysia that you can't. It's really hard to make a living out of esports in Malaysia unless you are really lucky.
How expensive is it to travel to something like SMM from Malaysia? Or wait, is SMM
Well,
in Malaysia?
yeah, it is.
Okay, every year it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was like for a few years. But are there any like other events on the Asian continent that make like supporting yourself financially more realistic?
Are you talking about sponsorship or tournaments?
Tournaments mainly, like
Not
Pinoy
much. The
things like.
biggest one this year for the Dota 2 in the Asian scene is the Asia. If you're not considering China
Oh
as
yeah, the
Asia, though.
Asia. Mm.
And there's a lot of smaller events where the champion is. Let me do the conversion. The champion is 1,700 US dollars. There's a lot of tournaments that are like that in Malaysia.
Oh, I see.
How is it? Is like the sponsors? How are like the Malaysian sponsors and stuff? Like how is Orange and teams right now? MEFC and stuff. Like
Only Orange and MUFC has a decent sponsorship, but if you compare Orange and MUFC sponsorship to the Chinese sponsorship, they look like dwarfs against big giants. But at
was that
least,
one?
yeah, but at least Orange is able to pay for air tickets and stuff like that. Usually, won't have much problem if you're in Orange. You want to attend any major land. Usually, it won't be any problems.
Was that one of the reasons that you think HY left for LOL, or obviously one of them, or just because of the scene there?
Yeah, because it's because of Garena. Garena, they are forming a lot of professional teams in each country, and they pay the players really good salary. Somewhat like the Chinese pro Dota 2 teams, but in League of Legends.
Yeah. So what like
And
what how was
which
like the reaction
she
over
got a,
there?
actually she got a very big offer from League of Legends, but I'm not allowed to say how much, but he got a really huge offer from it. But his love for Dota rejected it.
Thank God.
Nice.
What was the reaction like over there for HY? Because I know he's like a really popular player in all the local teams and the lands and stuff.
I'm not sure about the reactions, but you kind of expect it because in Singapore, Malaysia, Southeast Asia, it's really hard to get a living from esports. And when you get an offer like the League of Legends offer, it doesn't probably come more than once to you. So it doesn't come to a surprise when he takes the offer.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that's actually going to do it for this show because it's 5 a.m. right now for you, right, Winner?
Yeah, 5:06 a.m.
Thank you so
Dedicated
much for
man.
being on our show, by the way. Would you like to give everyone your contact information where they can find you at
Yeah,
your
I can
Twitter and your
contact.
stream?
Wait, I'm not used. I need to check. I'm not used to I don't use my Twitter a lot, except for lately. But my Facebook is Dota.winter. You can look at my page, and my Twitter is Dota Winter. Yeah, my Twitter.
And your Twitch page is twitch.tv/winner, right?
Yeah, I just got all of those set up recently, like a few days ago. It was a lot for me to fix and set.
DJ Winter on his
Yeah,
Facebook.
and to thank LD and Gods for helping me set up lots of stuff. Shout out to them.
Good. Josh, your Twitter and your final words for today?
Follow me on Twitter. Peace out. Happy New Year.
Well, are you going to read it out loud, or is that just...
Oh, PAINTDOTA. I just wanted to sum it up quick. Follow me on Twitter at PAINTDOTA. Are you asking something else, or...?
No, that's it. We're good.
Okay. Have a happy New Year, everyone. I wish you the
Kurt.
best.
Final
Happy
words
New
for the new year.
Year.
And your Twitter as well.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at AO_2000 and on Twitch TV at AO_2000 also. And just shout out to Team Dignitas, our sponsors, Alienware, Antec, and Intel, as well as the others. And Happy New Year, guys.
Sam,
Oh, Gong Hei Fat Choi. I don't know how to say it. So I say it in Chinese.
I don't know how to say it in
That's
Korean,
Chinese
so.
New Year. Happy. That's wishing you a
Oh,
prosperous New Year in Chinese.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Gong Hei Fat Choi.
Gong Hei Fat Choi.
Gong hei fat choi.
Sam, do you
Winter
want to read out your
starts
Twitter?
laughing at me.
Although
Follow me.
you actually pronounce it pretty much very accurately.
It's probably better than mine.
Wait, say it again.
It's Gong hei fat choi.
Gong Hei Fat Choi. Okay.
Winter's fucking tricking us. He's telling us to say something nasty.
Okay, follow
Probably
me.
like, I drink toilet water.
What?
Alright, continue,
guys.
Bulba.
Can you follow me at Liquid Boba? Thank you.
He's also streaming, but
And
he gets killed by AUI. When he's streaming.
Thank you.
follow me at twitter.com/liquidboba, and then thanks to my sponsor Team Liquid and its sponsors, or thanks to my team Team Liquid and then my sponsors, the Little App Factory and Razer and Twitch.
Alright, you guys can follow me at Blitz_Dota on Twitter, twitch.tv/BlitzDota. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to Admiral Bulldog. Also, if you guys want, you can join our Steam group, which will be linked in the chat, and it actually gives you a nice little message and pop-up when our show actually goes live, so if you don't follow the time thing. And also, the next episode will be on Monday, I believe, tentatively, and Sammy, you were going to say something?
I forgot Barracuda. It's shout out to them. Well,
Okay.
I need Barracuda.
Thank you guys for making this year so great. The first 8 episodes were fantastic. Thank you to all our guests, and thank you for watching, and we'll hope to see you guys next Monday.